Wado, it's your boy. I am the second coming at you with episode 7 of AnimeTalks Plus. Alright, today I'm gonna get into Violet Evergreen. Okay, I just finished watching it. So it's about this orphan who don't really know much about her background per se. We just knew that she was found in a war zone, by Major Gilbert's brother. I forget his name. But she was found, and the only skill she knows at the time is being able to fight and kill. And she's a little girl at this point with these skills. So Gilbert's brother introduces her to him as a tool. Like, this is a tool for war. She don't get attached to her. She's just a tool. But Gilbert was like, nah, bro. She's still a kid, man. Like, I just can't see her that way. So, Gilbert pretty much raises her and enlists her into the army or the military. Not really by his choice, because he didn't really want that for her, but because that's what everyone had already decided. Like, his higher ups had already decided, and he's a major, so they had to be pretty high up there. And it was during the. It was one battle. I didn't write it down. But it was pretty much the last battle to the war that had lasted 4 years between another place. And they raided the temple. And the major with Violet gets there. Pretty much gets there. Pretty much kills whatever was in her way, because she was pretty damn good, right? But as soon as the major gets shot in his eye, she kind of just loses all focus, because they had reached their objective, did the whole smoke signal and everything, and then almost right after that, he gets shot in his eye, and she wards off the people, and then she's trying to carry him to safety. She gets shot in her arm falls off. Now, don't ask me how the fuck she gets shot in her arm and then her arm just falls off immediately. Well, then again, she was a little kid. And, it's not like the setting took place in modern day. The setting takes place almost in like a World War II setting, almost, but not quite. It's like they have guns, but they don't have technology. Like, you know what I mean? They have trains and stuff, but they don't really have any technology yet. So yeah, it's around those settings. The setting is around that era. So with the guns from that time frame, bro, I don't know if it could take off literally a whole arm, especially from the distance he was at. It wasn't like he was at point blank range and he shot her in her arm and then her arm fell off. Nah, he was a decent distance away and shot her arm, and her arm fucking fell off. I don't get it. Excuse me. I don't get it. But that's what happened though. You know, she got shot here, but everything up here fell off. Like from here down, her whole arm fell off, right? But she only got shot like right around this area, like around her elbow. Yeah. Don't ask me how that happened, but yeah, that's what happened. So even with her arm falling off, she ain't fucking react to it or nothing. She picked the major right back up and was like, let's keep going. Like, she was like, I'm gonna get you to safety. I'm gonna get you to safety. And then someone throws a grenade, because they was making it behind a pillar. Somebody throws a grenade and yeah, fucking, it was near some staircase, fucking blew him down the staircase. She lost both her arms at this point. The captain don't look like he lost much of anything except for the eye and maybe some shrapnel all like throughout his body. Yeah. No, sorry, not the captain, the major. Oh, he did get shot again in his, I think it was like, his liver, I think it was. Liver or his kidney, somewhere around there. Can't really tell because he was laying. So I guess he got hit around his kidney area, I guess. I don't know, whatever. I don't know where all my body parts are, apparently. Then again, I am tired as fuck, so. It's 6:24, and I watched the whole series in one sitting. After I finished another show. So I finished one show and then started Violet Evergreen. Yeah. So the show I was watching was Noragami. That's gonna be, yeah, you can expect that to be one of the shows I'm reviewing, obviously. And then I went right to Violet Evergreen. So let me get back to the story because I just went on a tangent. So one of his friends was Lieutenant Colonel Hodges. He was friends with Major Gilbert. And Major Gilbert wanted Violet to work with Lieutenant Colonel Hodges because Hodges planned on getting out after that war and starting his own company, which he did. It's called the CH Postal Company. Yeah, I mean, he wanted Violet to work under him. So after the war ended, you know, he had Violet come work with him. And he let Violet know, like, hey, you're gonna feel like you burning from all the past shit that you've done once you come to realize it, you know. Because let me mind you that the big things about this anime and about this storyline is the fact that Violet Evergreen doesn't understand her emotions. Like she doesn't comprehend, you know, feeling. You know, whether that's love, whether that's hate, whether that's like embarrassment. Like she knows the definition of these things. She is very smart. You know, she picks up on things quickly. But she does not understand a complex and ever-changing thing like emotion. So that is pretty much the whole thing about this anime. Like you see the character development throughout the whole anime. So now she's working under President Hodges now, because he's no longer in the military. And at first she was just going to do sorting of the mail and delivery of the mail and stuff like that. But what she wanted to do after kind of watching what they did was be a automated shit. What's it called, bro? What the fuck? Yeah, an auto memory doll. That's what they're called. Auto memory doll. And their job was to put into words the feelings of their customers into a letter using a typewriter because they could not. It's like when you're trying to write something and you just can't quite find the words to put it on the paper. That was their job. So Violet Evergreen wanted to become an auto memory doll. But because of her lack of comprehension of emotions, that seemed a little far-fetched. Like, yeah, she could pick up typing, which, by the way, hold on. Before I get into that further, because you're like, bro, she just lost both of her arms. How the fuck is she able to type, right? Well, she got two mechanical arms. I should have mentioned that earlier. But yeah, she got two mechanical arms, and I'm wondering, like, the technology is really not that advanced. You know what I mean? In this era. So how the fuck is she able to move her arms and her fingers precisely the way she wants to? Yeah, that's the question. That's a question right there. It's just like, bro, how the fuck? How? How? Don't make no sense. Yeah, anyways. Like I was saying, it seems a little far-fetched for her to be an auto memory doll if she lacks comprehension of emotions. And the whole point of her joining, the auto memory doll, we're going to just call them dolls because I'm not going to keep saying the whole name. The whole point of her being a doll was to understand what the major said to her right before he died, which technically she doesn't believe he died. It was the last thing he said to her before she, last thing he said to her, I guess. Yeah, that was the last thing he said to her. Let's just leave it at that. The last thing he said to her was, I love you. Now, I don't know what he meant by that. I don't know if it was in a fatherly way. I don't know if it was in no other way, because these type of animes, usually when it dates back to this, in like this era, I guess, it usually comes with some pedophilia, you feel me? Not that I feel like that was the case here, but you never know in these animes. But he did say before he said, I love her, I love you, he said, run and be free. Oh no, he said live and be free. Something like that. He had some cheesy ass catchphrase as his last words. Well, yeah. Anyways, Violet goes on to, do this little class to become a doll. She fails it at first because of her lack of comprehension of emotions. And then for the first time, she was actually able to put someone's emotion into proper words to help them out. It was, what was her name, man? Lucilia. Sorry, Lucilia. God damn. God damn it, bro. My pronunciation fucking sucks tonight. Yeah, I guess it's just one of those nights. Yeah, well, look, it was just some female in her class that she met, right? And she was having a hard time with her brother because their parents died and her brother was the only survivor. He went out into the military, came back to find his parents dead, and blah, 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 yada, 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 right? And she pretty much helps her put into words what she wanted to say, which is pretty much saying to her brother, like, look, I'm happy that you're alive, and thank you, pretty much. And he felt it through that letter, and yeah, that was the first time, and she graduated from that because that was the only thing she was lacking. Her comprehension of literature was not the problem, or her speed of typing. It was literally being able to decipher somebody's emotion and put it on paper. So now that she actually has that down, she's traveling, becoming people's dolls, and writing their feelings on a piece of paper. The more she does it, the more she gets recognized, and she becomes like a famous doll, one of the go-tos for people when they wanted something to be written down on paper that they couldn't say themselves. I would say that there was one time you could see like a major shift in the character development was when she went to this lady's house to write her letters. She was there for about 7 days, and there was this little girl named Anne. She didn't know what was going on. Her mom was sick. She knew that her mom was sick and knew that her mom was going to be dying soon. But she didn't understand why her mom was taking these 7 days to write these letters instead of spending time with her. So she was kind of upset towards the end of, Violet's stay. And she actually thought Violet was a literal doll until she realized she was human, of course. But what she didn't know was that the mom was actually making letters for her throughout the span of her lifetime. She made like 50 letters for her to get a letter for her birthday. One letter for her birthday for, damn near the rest of her life. Damn near. She made so many letters for her daughter, to say like, hey, I may be gone, but, I got stuff for you later down the line. And that's a crazy concept, to write letters for your child, knowing you're about to die, but to at least keep having a piece of you come back to them on their birthday. I feel like that's crazy to think about. Really crazy. But when Violet went back to the office, she started crying. And mind you, this is the first time she has really cried, let alone crying for someone else. Well, this is the first time she actually cried for someone else. I wouldn't say it's the first time she cried in general. But this is the first time she cried for someone else because she was able to recognize their pain and their emotions and, what she was going through. Not necessarily the mother, but the daughter, and how the daughter was, feeling and dealing with things. And that was a major step in her character development. It really was, because otherwise she would have just sat there like, I don't understand, Shady, I don't know why you crying, bro. Ain't my issue. I don't know why you crying. Nah, but yeah, that was a major milestone in her character development. And then from there, it just, it got boring as fuck after that. Like, yeah. It got real boring after that, I will say. After that major character development where she was able to cry for someone else, it just kind of felt like, I don't know, man. I really didn't care for that other half. Excuse me. Yeah, I just didn't care, you know. And then at the end of the show, she writes a letter to Major Gilbert, her beloved Major Gilbert, and she still believes she's not dead, but you know, whatever. She writes him a letter talking about her feelings. So now she's able to express her feelings. But this was all foreseen, really. I mean, after that first major accomplishment, you could foresee that the next step was her understanding her own emotions. And how she got to that point wasn't really that exhilarating either. Like, it really wasn't. Like, she was helping people with other people with their problems. Now, I will say that what was interesting to me was that every time that she would help somebody, you would get into, know their thoughts. So like it was almost like they would become the narrator in a sense. So every person she had impacted in a big way, they would like, kind of narrate from the beginning of her arrival to the end of it and how it impacted them. I thought that was a pretty cool concept. I will admit that. But like I said, after that major development that she had, it was boring as fuck. She's a good fighter, mind you. She was killing people left and right when she was in that war. You feel me? Oh my god, bro. She had skills, bro. She had skills. But then once she was able to figure out emotions and figure out that people had loved ones and started to think about other people other than, just surviving, I guess. The mentality of just surviving or I'm just, following orders type of deal. She stopped killing. Yeah, simply was knocking them out, Towards the end, she kind of deployed herself in like a battlefield situation in order to write a soldier a letter for his family. But yeah. Is it good though? That is the question. Is it good? Well, I think it was decent. Like, it's not bad, but it's not great either. I would say it harpers on the borderline of good and decent. Not necessarily good and bad, because it was not a bad show. It's just that the ending became lackluster, I feel like. Like, yeah, there was some fighting in the end, but it was kind of like, for the character development, it kind of almost came to a halt until the very end, because like she's working on other people and stuff like that, and not really focusing on herself. It felt like. Now, granted, she technically was. Every time she was working with someone, that was something that she would learn from, in terms of learning how to interpret emotions for herself. It was like, I don't know how else to put it. It was boring, man. It became boring. Where at first it was interesting because you knew she was like this killer machine from like a child. Excuse me. During the war, to after the war, getting a job as a doll and trying to figure out what I love you means, to that moment where she cried for someone else because she was able to comprehend their emotions pretty much. And then after that, it stalled out until like the tail end of it, where then she was able to write her feelings to the major. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it. I think. I mean, it's a good character development. It's just towards the tail end, everything becomes predictable in a sense. You know, I don't know how else to put that. At least to me, it became predictable. You know, you may find it like, ooh, you know, feel like you might get surprised. Maybe, I don't know. But to me, I felt like it was really predictable, and I didn't care for you know, before the ending. You know, the parts leading up to the major end of things. But yeah, let me know what you think about it if you watched it. If you haven't watched it, you know, maybe go give it a watch and then give me your opinions on it. But yeah, that is it for this episode. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm tired as fuck, man. I bought some mangas yesterday, so I'm gonna be reading some mangas. I may even do some reviews on them. Not quite sure yet. You know, give me a break from or not really give me a break. It's more like switching it up. It's not like, you know, I take watching anime as a job. Although I am taking notes now, but you know, that's beside the point. I still don't see it as a job. It's just something that I'm doing to keep me occupied for the moment. That I enjoy doing. It's not like whatever, right? Anyways, for a second time, that's it for this video. Sayonara, Montenegro.